What's going on YouTube? Doubles Collectibles back with another video. Today I'll be going over the OP10 case tournament that I ended up playing this weekend. It was a great tournament. It was supposed to be a case and a half tournament, but because so many people ended up showing up, it was a 2 case tournament. You heard it right, 2 case. There was over 75 people there, 6 rounds of Swiss. The top 16 from there play a playoff style to see who ends up winning the most prizes. I think first place ended up getting like 8 booster boxes or something like that. Really great prizing, really great tournament. Was able to see a lot of people in the New England area who play One Piece. If you ended up seeing me there, shout out to you. Had a ton of fun meeting everybody, playing with everybody. In the tournament, I ended up doing really well. I ended up playing with Pluffy. As you can see, I got the PSA, alt art leader, really clean art. My favorite art, I think, in the One Piece TCG. Just so pivotal in the show. When they're all about to head into Onigashima to go fight Kaido. Jinbei just ended up joining the crew. Such a good moment in the show. And yeah, man, I was able to play this. But I would say probably the biggest thing with playing Pluffy is to definitely make sure that you go first. I ended up winning all my dice roll, and I ended up going 5-1 in the 6 Swiss matches. I ended up playing 2 limbs that I ended up beating, 2 shanks that I ended up beating, 1 Blackbeard that I ended up losing to a Bello Betty. I ended up swinging into them early. I think if I maybe starved them, I would be able to beat them. But hey, it goes how it goes. Sometimes you just mess up. And then I was in the top 16 tournament, and I ended up losing in the first round to a Shanks. I should have won that match too, but I ended up messing up with like my Dawn allocation and forgetting about the leader ability. So then he was able to counter out, and then I ended up catching the loss in that one. Almost ended up getting a free booster box. Really wish I ended up getting that last win, but I did well. Can't complain. I'm gonna go over the deck that I ended up playing with all the cards that I got, and then we can go through my winnings. I ended up winning half a booster box still with being top 16. So then we'll open the 16 packs, see if I get blessed, see if I can maybe get my first manga. So start off, we got the basic searcher. We got 4 of the law searchers. If you're playing them in competitive play in tournaments, realize he's a lookout 4, not a top 5. That almost caught me slipping. Well, I almost took 5 cards. He's a search top 4, so definitely keep that into account. And then we're gonna go into the 2Ks. I got a Frankie Nosuke. We got 4 of the Sanjis. We got 4 Usohachis. We got 4 of these. Those are all my 2K counters. And then here's all the blockers that I have inside the deck. I like some of these blockers. This one lets you fix up your hand with the queens. I'm running 2 of them. You do a lot of minus Dawn in this deck when you end up doing like the Sanji, Luffy Taro, the big Luffy. So if you end up dropping this kid down, it ends up saving you a Dawn. This is pretty good to the deck. I only have 1 of them though. Jinbei's another good blocker. I only run 1 of these Jinbeis, but if you end up seeing, if he has 10 Dons, it's 5K, 5 cost 7K blocker if you have 10 Dons, so it's a pretty good blocker. It actually helped me in my Blackbeard matchup on my 9 Don turn. I just played a Zoro, and I played this to try to continue going really wide into his board, and I was able to get the dub in the next turn. We got 3 of the Onamis. Another card that just kind of helps you fix up your hand. I got 1 of the Mr. 2s. Really good card. I wish I could have more inside the deck, but such an expensive card. And this was actually a copy I pulled because I started playing One Piece around EB01. So this was just one of the cards I held on to. I knew it was expensive, so I didn't sell it. And good thing I was able to hold on to it. Really nice card that lets you dampen steal some power. Here's the starter deck engine right here. We got, the searcher, Zoro Juros. Look at the top 5 of your cards, really important. Really like to see this on your second turn. I'm running 2 of the Usops just because if I don't find a Zoro on my 4 Dawn turn, I can still drop him out. Still a 4. 4 costs 6K, and then even if I don't have anybody for the Luffy Taro, I can just throw him down. And it's pretty much like a Zoro, just no search. The most important card, I feel like, besides Luffy Taro, this Sangoro. just being able to swing and draw a card in this deck, I feel like is huge, and just keep cycling through your deck and keep getting bigger hand size. I feel like this card being able to stick, or if you can if you can place down 2 of these and keep swinging into them, I feel like it's just like a can't lose situation. Speaking of can't lose situations, I also feel like if you get back-to-back Luffy Taros and you're able to flood your board really quick, this deck just goes crazy. So when you're able to find your Luffy Taros in like the perfect order, it's like you search with the law, you find a Zoro, you end up using a Zoro, you find a Luffy, then the Luffy you drop a Sanji is just really nice. And then the Sanji is really nice too to get around blockers and to be able to rest things that could be annoying and just be able to swing into with 7 off rip with the rush. The Sanji card is definitely really good. I run 3 of them. Was thinking about maybe a 4, but I feel like 3 of is just perfect. Going into the top end monsters in the deck, this Big Mom, man, this Big Mom is huge. It lets you heal with your leader ability, which you taking out a life to ramp every turn, pretty much to start off the game. Being able to heal up a life and take away an annoying card on the other person's deck that's a 6 or less is definitely a huge plus, and I definitely like this card inside the deck. I have 2 of the Luffys. I ended up pulling both of these alt arts, so that's the only reason I got alt arts. I usually don't be buying alt arts because it's a lot of money for just the same card that can do the same effect and everything like that. But when I end up pulling them, it's nice to have them inside the deck. And just look at that art, man. That art is crazy. I got 2 of these. Nice rush, being able to end the game. Or just be able to get another big body because you're ramping up Dawn so fast. So being able to get a 10K, they're not going to want to swing into this guy. It's too big. So they need some type of big boy removal to get him off the field. And then, yeah, I like these 2 to try to end game. If I see my opponent on 1 life, I just kind of swing with all the board that I have. And then you end up getting 2 turns with this card. This card is massive. If I end up having this in the playoff match that I ended up having, I would have won the game, but I did end up having him, so I ended up losing. I could have won the game if I ended up actually allocating my Dawn right. So I ended up using one of these rush Sanji. So I ended up adding 2 Dawn to my leader to swing into them. I got him down to the last life. Then I placed the rush Sanji. I should have done his effect to put one of my Dawn into the Dawn back to my Dawn deck. Then ramped with by taking one of my lives so I could add 2 Dawn to him to swing 9 into the Shanks. Because I ended up swinging 8 and he had a 2K, 1K, perfect amount to just get out of it because he ended up leader ability. So it was a 7K swing. But if I was able to swing 9, I would have been able to get the dub. So that's for all you Pluffy guys. Sometimes it's good to just move that extra Dawn and do the effects or whatever and like ramp back again just so that you can get extra Dawn to swing with this guy. And then you know the bread and butter of this deck, the Gum Giants, man. If you don't know what this card is, I'm really happy that this card ended up avoiding the ban list. Mine, you activate for 1 Dawn, you minus 2 Dawn, which if you're already at 10, you know, it's pretty much like you did nothing because you're going to get 2 Dawn at the start of every turn. And then, but it literally replaces itself. You get to go up to 9K as a leader, and then also draw 2 cards, which you can, you know, you can get 2 2K counters, which is another 4K, you know, off of just 1 card. You're able to go up 4K. You went down 2 Dawn, but you're just gonna get it back the next turn, and then you're also able to get 2 cards in your hand. So this is huge. Love Gum Giant. But yeah, that's the whole deck list. That's the whole deck profile. I feel like with this deck, it's just really important. You want to make sure that you go first. You know, if you want to make sure you really win that dice roll. I know that's like a lot of luck and chance, but yeah, just try to win the dice roll. And then when you end up going first and you can get like a pretty decent curve with finding the pieces that you need early, this deck just steamrolls. Like it really just steamrolls and just applies a lot of pressure because you have so many big bodies. You have so many 6Ks at like the bare minimum, and then you have 7Ks with like the Sanji, you got 10K with the Luffy, you got 9K with the Lin Lin, you got, you know, 12 with the other Luffy, but that was just like an end game type of thing. But you have so many big bodies on the board that like the opponent almost doesn't want to swing into him, and if they swing into him, they can't swing into him too heavy. And I run so many 2Ks counters inside of the deck that, like, even if you're swinging, I don't know, like 11 at the Limlin, who's a 9 or something like that, I can just, 2K Usopp, and I just protected it perfectly fine. And you had to allocate probably a lot of Dawn just to be able to swing into that. So they're either not developing another body on board, or they're going to have to swing really heavy into you. And then if you have a Gum Gum Giant, even better, because if it's a 9K, they got to swing 13K into you just so that you Gum Gum and you end up having to put a card on top of it. So huge. Absolutely huge. I really like Pluffy. Pluffy's a really fun, simple deck. Shout out my girlfriend who ended up getting me all the starter decks for Christmas. It ended up coming in clutch. It's only my second time playing it. First time I played it in locals, I ended up losing in the finals of locals. I think I was like 3-1 that day or something. I was able to go 5-1 with it. So really fun deck. I'm able to do really well with it. I really like it. Pluffy's a lot of fun. And it's funny because Pluffy was actually the first deck that I went to a locals with, but this was back like before EB01, so completely different. He was running like Magellans and stuff like that. But the fact that it kind of went full circle and I was able to do really well with Pluffy when it was my first deck like a year later, it's pretty nice. So that's enough rambling about the tournament. Really fun tournament. Definitely gonna be doing more case tournaments in the future. But let's get into these packs and see what I got. Let me know in the comment section, what's your favorite pulls from OP10, if you've done any, how your pre-release tournaments went. If you've done any case tournaments, let me know how those have gone. What are some of your favorite cards in OP10? I know I want that Usopp leader. I don't plan on playing the leader, but that alt-art leader is just such a clean art that I definitely just want a part of the collection. Oh, speaking of Usopp, hopefully we get the alt-art. Alrighty. But yeah, I think that's pretty much like the only card. Obviously the manga. I pulled some of the other alt-art leaders already. I pulled the Kid and Sugar. The Law would be cool. But I'll just give that to my boy Two Scoops who went to the tournament with me because Shanks is, I said Shanks. Law is his favorite character, so I would end up just doing a little trade with him. Because I know he'd definitely want that. Alright, we got 2 leader packs to start off. Hopefully, my side of the booster box that he ended up splitting isn't terrible. Because I know if you guys ended up seeing my last case tournament, I had like 18 packs and a booster box and prizes, and I got nothing. I got nothing out of those 18 packs. I'm still sitting on my booster box of OP9. I just kind of like the set. So I'm going to just sit on the seal. But yeah, that's probably what I would have won. If I ended up winning the same thing and I ended up winning a whole booster box, I think I would have just sat on it. So at least with me getting just top 16 and not top 8, you guys get to see me rip open some packs. Get this video a little bit longer. Yeah. I don't know if we can get manga today because at the case tournament, someone ended up splitting a box and literally pulling the Law manga. So I don't know what's the odds that there was 2 in there. But there were multiple card shops that ended up hosting the tournament, which is why they're able to do so many boxes and prizes and stuff like that. So you never know. Ooh, we ended up getting the Senior Pink Altar. That's a clean art. Well, this one's already better than last time because I don't think we got any altars. So, and if we end up getting another one, we probably ended up fleecing the other dude because they ended up splitting the box right in half. So if we end up with 2 altars, the other dude might not have anything. Unless it was a 3-hitter box, which I had one of those and I ended up pulling the Divine Departure altar, which was sick. Ooh, we fleeced him. We ended up doing really well. We got 2 altars. Nice. So, yeah. The other guy might have nothing. That Luffy card is sick, though. Yeah, we got EBO2 dropping real soon. I think it drops in April, late April. We're gonna end up having the pre-release for those coming up in a couple weeks. There's a normal Signature Pain, Rosinante. Halfway through, we already got 2 alternates. Not expecting too much out of these last 6 packs, but you never know. If it's a 3-hitter, it's a 3-hitter. But yeah, let me know what type of decks you guys are playing in OP10. Let me know. And this tournament did actually apply the April 1st ban list before April 1st. So there wasn't any Ice Ages, there wasn't any Jimbe's or Doflamingos. They ended up enforcing the ban before. So this was like, you know, how to really see the state of OP10 after the bans. It was really fun. There was a lot of Shanks. I would say there was a lot of Shanks, Zoros. Ooh, there we go with the Sanji. That's a good one. I think that costs like $10. There's a lot of Shanks, a lot of Zoros. There's actually a decent amount of Pluffys. I think that was probably like the 3rd biggest deck around, was probably Pluffy. Not too many Blackbeards. I was thinking about playing Blackbeard. That was the one I ended up doing really well in the OP9, but I ended up playing a case tournament the week before with Blackbeard, and I ended up getting straight countered. I literally was just getting straight countered. I ended up facing a Zoro first round, Bello Betty second round, one against a Bonnie, and then ended up facing a Buggy in my last round. So I went 1-3. Didn't even make a video because there was no prize exit. I didn't do well, so no need to make a video on that. So I was kind of scared that I was going to run into a bunch of Zoros again, because Zoro's like one of the biggest decks in the OP10 format after all these bans and stuff like that with no Dofi. So I was holding off on the Blackbeard, but I did end up seeing a Blackbeard in the top 16. So Blackbeard is definitely able to, if you're able to dodge those Zoros, I feel like you can go crazy with Blackbeard, but I don't know, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough when you run into those Zoros, man, because it's like you can either build your deck so that you can stomp on the Zoros, but then you might end up being like weaker in some of your other matchups because you were just trying to counter. All right, I think this is a Dawn pack, which it is. And then, all right, last pack. Let's see if we get some last pack magic. I mean, we already got blessed with the Senior Pink and the Luffy alt-arts, so not bad at all. Pretty nice opener. If you make it this far, let me know favorite cards in One Piece, favorite upcoming set, what stuff are you guys collecting, what are you guys looking forward to in the TCG, with the set rotations going to be happening next year. A lot of cards won't be legal to play. I don't know, I'm excited for One Piece. There's a lot of good stuff happening for One Piece. A lot of new leaders going to be coming out. In OP12, I think they already started announcing like a Silver Israeli or something who's going to be a leader. I think there's a Goldie Roger leader that's going to be happening. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. If you made it this far, though, like, comment, subscribe. Doubles Collectibles. I'm out. Peace.